Hello and welcome. I'm Niko and this is Stellaris by Paradox. It's really, really good. It's a grand strategy game. They're known for it. It's no exception. It's really, really fine. One thing I will say for it though is it's a really good sci-fi story wrapped around a fantastic 4X game. Now, what do those 4Xs mean? Expand, explore, exploit and exterminate. Finally, I got that right. I can't believe that. Normally I only get 3 out of the 4. It's a damn fine game. I love this sort of genre. I'm just going to go quickly into settings to see what we've got here. Not a lot, but to tell you the truth, you don't really need a lot here. It would have been nice to see maybe a little bit more adjustability here. I don't know. I've got a fairly okay machine. It's not top end, but it's still pretty okay. Yeah, I can run it at full multi-sampling of 8. You've got just a range of graphics qualities. It just goes high, medium and low. I've got it on high. You can't take it any higher than 8 for multi-sampling. Doesn't tell you what type. You can scale the UI up and down, which is quite useful. And I'm running it in borderless window full screen. Works pretty fine there. I've got full control over the sound. It's nice to see 4 sliders there. That really does help. I've never really found it that intrusive, to be honest. So I'm going to just take the advisor voice down there because otherwise it could become a little bit annoying. And just go back in there. Gameplay, you've got a few things here, autosave to the cloud. Tutorial, tips, I'm just going to turn it off. And you've got event pop-ups, and that's fine. It does what it needs to do. It might have been quite nice to have maybe colorblind options, but to tell you the truth, with the interface the way it is, I can't see that being a major problem. But I'm not colorblind, so if you have massive problems with it, tell me about it in the comments and I can actually become more educated on that. It's a topic I know really bugs some people, a bit like field of view does for first-person shooters. Recently I saw a game which had a really fantastic thing for dyslexic, so you could change the text you see. That really worked, and being dyslexic, that really worked for me. Would have been nice to see it in a game like this with a fair bit of text knocking around as well. So Paradox could have done a tiny bit more with the settings perhaps, but the proof of the pudding is in playing the game, to mix my metaphors. So here we come in. We've got a selection of 8 in here. I did not buy the various collector's editions, of which there are 3. And there's also quite a bit of DLC coming along. So let's have a look at this. We've got the United Nations of Earth. We've got the Commonwealth of Man, which is the exact opposite of the fluffy UN people. It's very much... they're xenophobes rather than xenophiles, and they're fanatic militarists rather than fanatic individualists. Okay, you've got various other alien factions along here. I'm going to play as the Commonwealth of Man, though I think what I'm going to do is to play this with a slight little bit of fun at the expense of some of this social justice stuff which has been going around. Now, I don't have a particular axe to grind in that, but I have seen some absolutely, mind-bogglingly bizarre things. And it's just sort of, I don't particularly have an axe to grind there, but I do find it funny when people take things to such an extreme. It's the reason why it's very difficult not to take the mick out of some religion, some political ideologies. When someone loses their sense of humour and starts to try and control other people's speech, I really think they absolutely have to have the mick taken out of them. Not, screamed at, not, attacked in a kind of completely unacceptable way, just taken the mick out of, because that's all they deserve. And the same goes for all the alt-right people and all that sort of stuff. You should all have the mick taken out of you, and if you can't have the mick taken out of you, there's something wrong and you need to kind of dial it down. Okay, enough about the politics. I'm not going to turn this into a political rant, I promise. Okay, Commonwealth of Man, or in this case, woman, these are going to be my feminazis of the stars. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for a medium size game. I don't want this to run for 60 million years. Or do I? No, I don't. So we're going to go for a medium setup. Oh, he's tempting me. Look at that. A huge one. 1,000 stars. No, I can't resist. Okay, there we have. We've pushed it up to a higher number of starting ones. I'm just going to take down the advanced AI starts to 7, just to kind of limit that a little bit. AI aggressiveness normal, difficulty normal, everything allowed. They've got 3 different methods of FTL. You've got wormholes, which I'm going to have. You've got Abiquier drives, warp drives, and you've also got hyperlanes. So you've got all of the sci-fi tropes in there, and you eventually can get hyperspace later in the game. Now, shall I play this on Ironman mode? Ooh, what does Ironman mode do? In Ironman mode, console cheats are disabled, and the game automatically saves regularly to a single file. In-game, played with this setting, there is no turning back. Well, yes, why not? Let's see if the feminazis survive. Okay, here we are, loading a new game. Okay, just taking a little second. I really should get some solid-state drives here. Okay, Commonwealth of Man, or in this case, woman. More than a century has passed since the great art ship Chrysanthemum carried 250,000 of our ancestors from a distant Earth to the new garden world we have come to know as Unity. After a long and perilous journey, the colonists rejoiced when they first saw sunlight again, albeit from a foreign star. The early years were difficult. Citizen militias were formed to fight off the lethal alien wildlife, but we found ourselves sharing our new home with, and cultivating the terrestrial crops that had been brought with us proved harder than we had imagined. Yet, each challenge was overcome. We became stronger. Once this new world had been tamed, our numbers grew exponentially. The last few decades have seen great leaps in technology, and we are now finally ready to reach out and reclaim the stars from whence we came. Okay, so we've got these initial starting traits. So we're xenophobic, so we're going to have more difficulty interacting peaceably with aliens, but we've got much higher slavery tolerance. Okay, we're fanatic militarists, so we get some various buffs revolving around combat. We can form more rivalries. More on those would be later, but trust growth lower again. So we're going to have a lot of difficulty with our diplomatic contacts. Now, we're quick learners, so our leaders, which are a big part of the game, accumulate experience much quicker. We're nomadic, so we've got a faster migration speed, resettlement costs are lower, so that all works out quite well. And we prefer continents, so very much keeping with our earthly roots there. Okay, so we're going to have a little look out. Here we have our Deneb, which is our star. Now, we've got wormholes, so if you look out, there's a plane flying overhead. You've got this little dashed orange ring around Deneb, and this is how far we can jump out. So what I'm going to do, first off, I'm going to set my construction ship to, and you can rename everything in this game, so just select that, and what I'm going to do is just queue up a whole series of destinations to get some basic information. Now, this doesn't survey the planets, but it does give you a general idea of what's there. Okay, so just move there. And we're just going to queue all of these up. Just holding down, can't go there, can go here. Okay, just go around, just do this with each and every one of them. Okay, there we go. Can we get to that one? No, we can't. Now, you can develop technologies to make this sphere much bigger, and you can build stations using your construction ship. Now, that will enable us to expand further. Wormholes do have a few drawbacks. Namely, it takes larger fleets longer to pass through them. You can look up the wiki for the exact calculation. Okay, so what else have we got? We've got a science ship. So first off, we should really survey our home system. So we're going to do that. That would be queued up there. Now, going to look at tech up here. We can see the three icons here. We've got physics, we've got society, and we've got engineering. So what are we going to have here? I think, what do we want to do? Okay, early game, probably developing a lab would be sensible. Okay, we want to start expanding as quickly as possible, so go for a colony ship. Okay, what do we want here? Let's see. That would give us materials research. That would give us slightly improved movement speed. Yeah, that will help with development in a kind of low-key way, in the fact that the ships don't take quite so long to get everywhere. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now start running this game. I'm going to run it through at a fast pace for a little bit. I'm going to try and limit these videos to no more than about 15 minutes. So I'm going to cut this shortly and then take it up immediately afterwards. Now, I know some people like long videos, but I'm going to include a great big playlist with this. You can just continuously watch your way through them. It's just I find a lot of people are put off after about 15 minutes. And here we have an incoming fleet. So what is that? That could be anything. It could be a space... okay, we're going to call them alpha bogies for now. Okay, so that will have generated a special event which we can actually spend research resources finding out more about these creatures, which we've just had a quick little look at. A sensor ghost. Some guy monitoring his plot spotted a UFO. So we're actually going to have a proper Project Blue Book. Okay, Unity is in uproar following the news of an unidentified ship sighted in the void. Their intentions are unknown. It would be prudent to assume the worst. Now, this is completely the flip side of the other human faction, which is always like, oh, fantastic, we've found aliens, isn't it wonderful? So this is, it's the complete flip. It's always taking the negative on aliens. It's really quite funny. Okay, so maybe we can target them with some targeted microaggressions shortly. Now, we're going to find out more about them. So if we go here, and if we investigate the alpha bogies... Okay, oh, we've found some more. We've found some more things to look at. Okay, we're going to research those. Now, you notice here with the various worlds which have appeared, they've got these different sort of planet symbols, like, Earth, I think, that's Africa or something like that. But you can see some of them are green and some of them are yellow and red. Very convenient. This is always randomly spawned, so I had no idea what was going to come up, but it's just proved to be really convenient. Okay, so these are basically the habitability. So as you can see, that one's 40, that one's 0 for a tundra world. Now, that is a, primary colonial target, so that's quite convenient. Now we've got some things appearing in our system. So what is this about? So, this is intriguing. What is that? Looks like a Reaper from Mass Effect. These are space amoebas, but we haven't researched them enough to actually find out what it's about yet. Okay, so we've got space amoebas running around there. And looks like they're running off, which is quite useful. Really do not want these things hanging around too much. Now, I am going to... Oh dear, it's attacking my wormhole. That is not a good thing at all, because that would cut me off, especially because my... Oh no, my construction ship is running around. This is not a good thing at all. Okay, I need to start pumping out some more corvettes. These corvettes are going to have to attack. I'm going to see if I can recruit a leader to give me a little bit more... Let's see, fire rate. Do I want fire rate or do I want evasion? I think I'm going to go for evasion. Right, hopefully that should keep them in the fight for a little bit longer. They are outmatched. So, going to crawl across the system. hopefully we can deal with them. That will prove to be interesting. Oh dear. We're not doing too well. I'm zapping them with our little lasers. Finally our starbase is able to engage them. Fantastic, we've killed them off. And this creates, let's see, right. Okay, so we're going to go for a little bit of observation there. We're going to pause it just for a sec. Okay, so they head back, they can heal themselves up, they acquitted themselves pretty well. Okay, now if I select my science vessel, which is currently doing its survey, I can now pick out research projects in the system. That will research for debris and give me various bonuses. Okay, construction ship. Now, that unfortunately broke all of its jumping chain there, but that's fine. I've got a colonization target, which is looking pretty good. I'm going to go back and build some mining stations, so that will start to bring me a little bit more minerals. These are definitely something you want to develop as often as possible. All of the resources have their own bits. Generally speaking, energy credits are generated on planet. Minerals, although they are generated on planet, very frequently you're going to get most of your minerals from off-world mining stations. And influence is generated by various bits of research, special buildings, and that develops up here. You've got the various different bits of research information happening here. You've got colonized systems and your current number of ships. I've currently got 2 due to that little fight with the amoeba. Okay, so I'm going to cut it here, and I hope you enjoy the video, and just stay in the loop. It should come up automatically. If not, click on the playlist and go with that. As ever, like and subscribe to the show. Hope to see you tomorrow.